Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cloudy Sheep, and we're in Plane Command, Modern Naval Air Operations. Just to give a bit of a background, because we've been recording for a while, our guys here, our little fleets, Fleet A and Delta, are streaming down to the Canary Islands, where we hope to reconquer these from a fictitious Northern African Islamic Alliance in 2005. We've flown a couple of attacks here, but what we just realized in the last episode is that over here there have been a couple, actually 8 enemy planes taking off from this airbase over here and streaming towards our Group Alpha over here. Group Alpha includes a little carrier, so we send off some Harriers that we immediately scrambled. Some F-18s were in the air still, so we send them down here and to try to make out what that is. And there's an unrelated flight, I believe at least, of F-16s going down here. Also in between episodes I turned up a couple of the surface sensors and underwater sensors, so because this will be about an air battle, I just pretty much disabled everything that isn't air related. So now you can pretty easily see that this white circle here is their probable detection range, whereas this pink-red tingy circle here is the possible engagement range that these guys have. I'm still not entirely sure what to make of this attack, or this probable attack. We've seen these guys coming in straight at us. They do carry Phantoms, which of course, as you know, is a bit of an older plane. It can be a strike aircraft, it's a multi-role, but basically the weapons that it can actually carry is like iron bombs, rockets, so that doesn't sound that threatening to us, at least, because we, of course, in our group over here, do have quite a couple of weapons, including some sort of rim weapons, so these are anti-air weapons, which have an engagement range which is much further than bombs or rockets could probably fire. We do have a lot of these on hold, so we could probably just, even if single missiles aren't very likely to attack or kill them, we do have a lot of them in store, but we'll have to see what that is about. The other guys that we saw were these Mirages over here, which we've seen deviating from their flight path, so I think that's a very likely reaction to our flight of F-18s here, and I guess, you know, the active radar range here, the dotted line of their guys is, yeah, probably they detected us on some sort of passive radar warning receiver, so maybe that has a range of 120 miles, so it's very likely that the moment we turn on our radar here, they got, or they could identify that we were being, we were attacking them. So the fact that these guys are coming up here pretty much means, to me, that they are probably off this entire strike package, that these guys might be the escort. And that's good news, because the air engagement range of these guys is much lower of the Mirages than potentially of the Phantoms. I think the Phantoms could theoretically at least carry this guy with a maximum range of 55 miles, and that is much further than in fact what we are carrying here with the AMRAAM, which I believe is 40 miles. So yeah, so I think that might be a good idea. We also just scrambled another flight of Harriers here, which of course we're also going to send over, because we were afraid that maybe it's not sufficient. The other bits and pieces here you can see are helicopters and some patrol craft that are coming back. We also got another flight of carriers from Hornet over here. There's another strike craft. I believe we should tell you to loiter actually. And where are we actually going? Well, maybe we can see but do loiter, yes. So, and what else have we got here? A tanker, which is on some mission. Yeah. I don't think we really have that many F-18s ready here. There's one ready, but we'll probably have to wait a while. So there's a bit of a gap that in that even if we are successful here, we'll probably not be able to immediately position more planes on station. So that's a bit of a problem, but it should be fine. Also, we should just briefly keep in mind that there is a surface vessel over here, but previously we've confirmed that it's not quite as close. It's probably more like down here, but it's being detected by passive radar. So our idea there might not be too precise. That being said, let's fight out this air engagement over here. We see that these Mirages over here have been accelerating as well. So I'm going to shift our Harriers a bit further to the north, because I think it would be more important to engage the air escort and maybe have a follow-on strike with the other guys over here. And we also tell these guys to hit the pedal bit and be a bit quicker as far as that is possible. Right? Here we go then. Area not defined. Okay, so we'll have to look at our patrol areas a bit later on. We can set our time a bit here, see how things are developing. I hope these guys aren't traveling too fast. You know what, I think I will tell you to loiter right now, because as these guys are coming in, I want my Harriers to be as close as possible. So we'll hope that there's something more? New contact? Oh, I think we do have... See you? Are you on any mission? No, you're just an airborne early warning. No? Something is fishy up there, but I think that's fine. Let's briefly have a look at this boogie. Okay, so that's a more guy. Okay, that's fine. And some more guys down here that are just starting. So these are probably Mirages on these. We don't really know, but they'll not be relevant immediately for here. So let's see how things are developing. Envelopes are being pushed in. Some ready. So these are attacks of probably more Mirages. And very soon we'll see our guys getting mobile crop down here. That's fine. I just briefly want to check in the front whether we have a harm ready. Nope, even 12 minutes, so that's fine. You know what? Actually, I think here we'll launch 2 of these guys as a group to provide air cover once these guys here down here have expended their ammunition and so on and so forth. So we are very close to launching, so this is the time to hit the afterburner, just to make sure that we are at the best possible speed to engage them. And I hope that only one missile is being launched at each of these targets, but you see the first is out there. Nope. Okay, so we have only one left. Nope. So we will want to make sure that this guy is being targeted by one AMRAAM. This guy's shot everything. This guy has allocated. No, so here you see the problem. I think the Mirage for this guy over here has one being fired at him and one allocated. So we're going to de-allocate that and again allocate it to this target over here. Because when we do have 4 targets available, we really want to have 1 missile on each rather than 2 missiles on 2 of them. And there we go. So the question is, do we want to continue to close in or do we want to turn around? And I think the answer to that will be that we will try to disengage to over here. Reason for that being that firstly we want to get the Harriers in closer, and secondly I'm not too convinced that we really want to get into. I mean, why take the risk, right? This is their engagement range. I don't want to be in there without being required to. Of course, we do have sidewinders, but I don't see any reason why we should pick those. However, what I am going to do is turn on the radar on these guys, because as you can see, the radar of these guys is being shifted away, so we might lose precise target information on these guys, and that is something I definitely would like to have. So, but that might not work out as intended, because you can see the range over here is just not what we want to have, really. I'm also a bit worried that the Harriers are just going to launch at these guys, which I feel not like them to do, but we'll have to see. I mean, I could of course turn on the doctrine here and say, no, please don't fight anything, but yeah. So here you go. You can see that these guys probably will turn on their radar very soon, and the Mirages here have, I think they just been returning to formation actually, because they realized that they couldn't catch up. But very soon they should be starting to do maneuvers to... Nice. Attempt retargeting, yes, that would have been lovely. Can I tell you to? No. So one of them has run out of energy. Oh well. So you can see that one time we scored a hit, one just and two missed. So actually not that great luck. We should have had about two of them be ready. These guys can now de-accelerate somewhat, so I think I'll want you to military speed and come down here, just so maybe they can engage these guys with not with the AMRAAMs, but with other sort of craft. So let's make sure that these guys aren't engaging them. And our Harriers over here again can go on military speed. We did have another set of Harriers come in, right? Yeah. They'll not be in time anyway, so I think that will be fine. Let's briefly check down here. Mix, Hawkeye, some strike craft. That's fine. I think it's sufficient that these guys are sort of off the limit. And now they are again doing that. So stop. Okay, let's take this flight. And let's make sure that this guy has one AMRAAM out of weapons range. Okay, then we actually have to go to the doctrine window, and with weapons, authorization, AMRAAM, and I think this is a 4th generation, so run around, that should be fine. There we go. Hopefully that will be sufficient, otherwise it's still there. Alright, so there we go. Very lovely. Now I want you to cruise. Go ahead and pause it when you need to. On the other hand, you can go a bit more into the... Whoop. What's that? Let's have a look at this. So it does look like, after all, the Phantoms down here were on an air superiority strike package. So you're going to try and run away, and the Phantom over here is... So what could it actually carry? A brick nose barrel, right? Yeah. Can be guided, so it's a guided missile. AM7. I wonder what strike package that is. So the Sparrow could be in Carrier Airbattle, so that's all AA package. Ah, anti-ground. So theoretically they can have Mavericks in a strike package. Though this technically is day only, so that really shouldn't be something that they do right now. Well, we'll have to see. Anyway, that does mean that these guys probably all carry anti-air missiles, which of course is a shame. But let's see what we can do about it. We go on afterburner. You guys have been told to go on military speed. We are also going to tell you to turn off your radar. Yes. And go as low as possible, because we don't know whether these guys will actually be able to spot us. If we're going very low, maybe the lockdown capability of these guys is more limited than we might think. So more missiles, that's not exactly a surprise, so yeah, there we go. Being launched by these guys. Guys, turn around, please, please, please. Hornets departed from the pond, so let's make sure that these guys are coming down here. And I think these guys will probably turn in a bit towards the airbase, just so maybe we can intercept them on our way back. Yeah, it's coming down on us. Some contact's been lost, but that's merely because of the... Meanwhile, our missiles over there are engaging the Mirages. Another miss. A hit, so that's good. Still, one missile on each of these planes. Okay, that's good. Can't complain this turn. 2 out of 3 hits. But watch them hit with like every missile. Here we go. Okay, Sparrow has lost 40%, so it's not too great. I think they might score a hit. Okay, that's good. We are lucky. Also, maybe it's worthwhile to see why these were so drastically different. These only had a chance to hit of 32%, which is basically because of the adjusted for distance. Basically, we've been flying away for a longer time. Anyway, that does mean that our guys here should be disengaging. Unless, of course, there are further missiles, as we should expect. You guys have been told to go as fast as you possibly can. More missiles, yes, that's to be expected. That does also, however, mean, let's briefly stop, that these guys, I think the typical sort of pattern over here. So we will have to see if they weren't indeed in a strike configuration. That means each of these carried only 2 Sparrows, right? And that is number 3 and 4. So that means that might already been half their ammo. But of course we can't take that for granted. But it will tell us something about their strike package overall. Starting evasive maneuvers there. And I think it's time to launch our last Harriers. Because so far we only have 4 AMRAAMs in the air, and they're at least 5 planes, so definitely good. Another miss. To be honest, we've been a bit lucky over here. Maybe a bit more than we deserve to. You don't need to be on afterburner, honestly. I consider this guy basically useless because of the sidewinders. So that's interesting. I think that's at least number 5. Although the first one was launched by this, so very interesting indeed. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to target this missile. So, can we send an AMRAAM at this guy? I don't think we can. Nothing? Well, as you might have noticed, I'm not a big fan of Harriers, but the one good thing about them is... So number 5 and 6. The one good thing about Harriers is their ability to launch very quickly. 30 seconds on a carrier, that's really good. You know, this time I'm not... No, I am going to tell you to be a bit more conservative. First generation. Just run around, please. Yes. There we go. It's a shame. If the timing here was slightly different, we might have seen that these guys, that our missiles would have arrived here earlier. This guy has a funny flight path. This is going towards our flight over here. I think it is. Okay, very nice, very nice. And now we're launching down here. That's good too. By the way, this missile comes in from these guys down here. Okay, now that this is done, however, I'm going to draw you guys back. I'm going to keep them in the air, of course, because again, we've seen that this is number 5 and 6, so they technically only have 2 more missiles, plus whatever this guy has. Correction, 1 more missile. Area destroyed. Yep. You know what that means? I'm going to tell you to engage. How high are you? 30,000 feet. So I'm going to go to medium or even high altitude. Military speed. You're going to come over there and launch your sidewinders. Engage defensive. You don't need to be engaged defensive anymore. I want to get away from the Mirage over here though. Come on, get me a hit, please. At least one. Nice. Okay, so... But this is good, because... you saw that this missile over here, it was being deflected because this guy had... right at altitude. Because this guy over here, these missiles here forced these guys to diverge and go low, which in turn meant that this guy could on plotted course. How are you on plotted course? Mate, I want you to tell me to be on high altitude. Okay, stop. Wait a second. That's better. And on military speed. Okay, so we are going to try and use our sidewinders on these guys down there. Although I did realize we only have 2. Oh no, of course it's only 1 plane. More missiles. That's of course not so great. We're going to fly straight at them. And the Mirage up here is much quicker than we are. So I think this guy is toast. Should have withdrawn him, honestly. And now he's diving low because he's engaged defensively, and that's probably the death of him. I don't think you have any sort of capability in this regards, but going to take what you have. Right, so you, sir, I'm going to come in a bit lower, and I think I'm going to tell you to not actually go all the way up, but remain at high altitude, so that means it can be a bit quicker. Yeah, second Harrier lost. Shame, I don't like Harriers, they're way too slow. But this particular time it's been more of an issue with me and my handling of the Harriers, to be honest. I think you can come in a bit more like that. Still, we have 4 more planes incoming. We have 1 flight of Harriers over here, which is going to try and intercept them as best as possible. And before anything else, we are going to tell you to, yes, indeed, fire only 1 round of ammo at anything. Another boogie, 40 miles. Pretty close. This guy. No, this guy. Here. What could you be? Yeah, between lines. Let's see. So, at first, over here. Accelerate slightly. Between lines. Here we go. Missile. I'm going to pull you slightly like that. Let's see, I am getting in range. It's pretty close anyway. 2. 3 and 4. 3. Okay. Come back home. Alright, more emeralds in the air. Let's see. As you hit. Defensive patterns over there. That's what I believe. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, so the Phantoms over here have been surprisingly resilient. I mean, only 1 shot down, whereas the mates, Mirages rather, have lost a couple already. And now we are more or less out of juice, right? Our flights over here, nothing, no AMRAAMs anymore, only sidewinders. Of course, we're going to keep them in the air. I'm gonna argue because why not? Although it will take a long time to get there. Ha! And we lost all of the AMRAAMs. Okay, that's bad. Can we get a Sidewinder strike package? It doesn't really make any sense, does it? Yeah, we're still gonna do it. 3 hours. It's a long time. So, but basically, our service group over here will have to engage with these guys. So what do we kill? Not the Mirage, Phantom. Down here. 1 hit out of 4 missiles. Oh well, I can't complain too much. Let's accelerate time a bit, see what the remaining guys of theirs are doing. So they seem to be converging a bit more, right? Let's make sure we are behind our own group. Let's see what we have up here. This Harrier is coming in like that. More boogies down here, I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah. Seahawk is ready. Hornets are coming in. Not sure what these guys are doing, but very soon these guys will enter hammer range. I'll accelerate time a bit because we are rather late in terms of how long this episode is running, and we'll just see. Now, why don't you engage? There we go. 2 missiles. Oh, you're very low. That's very interesting. Okay, that does mean I'm gonna pull you back, be on medium altitude, and on military speed, because that definitely is an attack pattern. This guy over here is still high enough, so he's still providing air cover, while these guys are, in fact, no, this guy hasn't launched anything yet, so I'm not gonna. We're gonna come in to the south over here. That's what we're gonna do, because we do have sufficient stand-off capability from our fleet itself to engage. This guy, I don't think he'll survive a lot of shots of these rings, but these guys down here, they're basically below the engagement envelope of these guys. And you are also going to come back. Also medium altitude. Nice. One shot kill. And anti-air missiles are being launched down there. Can you? No, you can't. You really can't. Let's see. Let's see. I think you should be able to fire a sidewinder. Go. Zoom in a bit. See what's going on. So this guy's being targeted by 2 missiles, one sidewinder coming in from here, and one probably rim, yeah, there. Still very low above the ground, but still should be fine. And these guys also, of course, need to drop low because the sidewinder can only do an altitude difference of a few thousand feet. Come on, come on, come on. Nice. Dude, just fire anything you've got. And the sidewinders, I don't care. They're cheap. They're expendable. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I think we'll get him. One sidewinder. Go. and I've just told them to continue chasing this guy, because why not use our guns if we do have time. Although even the Phantom can outrun the Harriers, so again, Harriers are not that particularly useful, but maybe we can. So there we go, gun. And we actually got them with 25mm rounds, so that's very nice. You return to base, you return to base, you return to base. No more planes coming in, I believe, so it's that nice. Weird things coming in down here, but all in all that seems to be rather fine. Our planes, on the other hand, can close in a bit more to the fleet because the immediate threat has gone. So that's very lovely, and I think that's a very fine time to call this episode to a close. Lost to Harriers, but overall ended off their strike pretty well, I believe. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.